It's now time on Golfing World to walk the course, and this time it's the turn of 2013 US Open champion Justin Rose. Justin's had a great year on tour, topped off by winning Hong Kong. So we caught up with him to hear his take on his 18th season on tour. First of all, Justin, great shot. Happy with that?
Yeah, I'll take that one on Sunday. Yeah, it's obviously a tough hole, this one. I remember we played it into a pretty strong wind on Sunday last year, so I got some interesting memories for it. I bogeyed it to lose, to miss the playoff by a shot. So today's the first day of getting over those memories.
Okay, well, let's walk. I mean, there's no doubt that it's been a great season for you. Capped off with a win, of course, in Hong Kong. When you look back on this season, what's your kind of overriding feelings and thoughts on it?
I would say consistency, really. I felt like actually, I got off to a really poor start this season, and then prior to Augusta, I was struggling with my game, but then it clicked into gear at the right time. And when I was struggling with my game in sort of February, March, I said to myself that the year was going to be based around playing well April to September, and I did a really good job of turning it around and playing well in all the majors. And so yeah, consistency from that point on, and then playing well in the majors, I think is really what my whole season's been about.
Is that often part of kind of keeping everything in perspective, breaking down the season, not looking at it as one chunk?
Yeah, if you look at it as 11 months, it's a long time, and a lot can happen in 11 months, lots of ebbs and flows, and you'll probably play yourself in and out of form a couple times during a season. So it's all about trying to peak. And obviously the majors come around in the summer anyway, thick and fast. So you kind of want to be peaking and getting your game right, but still staying fresh for the middle of the year. In golf, you obviously lose a lot more than you win, so it's about how you manage the losses and keep your confidence going. And I really came up against some hot players this year, Jordan at the Masters and Jason Day at the PGA. But if I can play like I did this year in the majors next year, and you get a little bit of luck and stuff like that, I feel like I should have a good chance to pick up another one. What
for you do you find is the key to keeping up that consistency during the year?
I think just doing all the right things, trying to take away many of the variables as possible, taking care of my training, my sleep, my recovery, trying to stay on top of my technique and doing my drills and all that stuff, and really you're trying to improve but without changing things. So obviously if you go into a season and you change too many things, you don't really know what was working and what isn't. So for me it's just about real subtle tweaks, I suppose, rather than trying to make big overhauls in the game.
Mentally, when you're approaching the ball at the moment, do you have any kind of regular swing thoughts that's really working for you at the moment?
I've kind of I'm trying to get a lot more into how I'm seeing the shot, trying to get away from maybe having 4 or 5 technical swing thoughts or keys, and getting more into the picture of the shot. Just getting a little bit more high definition in terms of how I'm seeing. And then I can kind of trust my game, trust my swing to kind of create that. So I think I've got to the point with my game where I'm not really working on too much, and it's a good time for me to get into more of that playing mode.
And really, since the US Open, we're seeing you play your best golf. Do you think that unlocked anything for you?
Obviously, it's interesting. You do see some players who win their first major and then they fall off the radar. But,
yeah.
I'm really happy that I've managed to keep my level up, and I've pretty much stayed in the top 5 in the world since winning my first major. So. Yeah, very, very happy for the most part, but it's obviously, I guess, taking a little bit of pressure off. But you want to get your second and third and fourth, and obviously majors are always intense. So I wouldn't say I play pressure-free golf in majors now, but you obviously see a lot of great players who never have a chance, well, never win a major. So I definitely feel grateful for the fact I've got one out of the way.
Right. Well, if you'd be so kind, to talk us through your setup.
So yeah, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and see the whole fly to the ball. So I'm kind of seeing it, in my mind I'm feeling a fade, but I'm seeing the ball very straight because obviously the wind, I've got to fade it to hold it straight into the breeze.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Right. That looks just about perfect.
There you go, something like that.
So looking at the game of golf now, I mean, it's in a great place. We've got those 3 youngsters at the top. How do you think that's changing the game as opposed to just the Tiger era where he dominated everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think golf's really healthy right now. I think people are now accepting of the fact that they might not see Tiger back at his best, and I think that they now are accepting that golf's in a great spot. I think it's great that the world ranking's been trading back and forth between Rory, Jordan and Jason, and they've been winning, but winning in record fashion. I mean, I think you know, Jordan equaled Tiger's record, didn't he, at the Masters? And you know, we never thought that we'd see that again. And yet, 15 years later, here's a kid doing what Tiger was doing. So it's very, very exciting for golf, and they're obviously great lads with it. They're handling the success really well, and you know, I'm 35, a few years older than them, but still kind of feel like there's a bit of life in the old dog, and
absolutely
can give them a bit of a run for their money at times.
And yes, they're young, but your name is often in that. Well, it's always in that top group with them. Do you, like you say, over the next 5-10 years, do you think you're right up there with them?
You know, physically, I feel like I'm getting better and better. You know, from that point of view, I feel like I'm competing with them. I don't have an element or a dimension to my game that, you know, that they have that I don't. So, from that point of view, I don't feel like I'm giving up too much at this point. So, for me, as I get older, it's just about, you know, I probably have to work a little bit harder at staying fit and fresh. You know, they've probably got that bit of an advantage, but, you know, I'm willing to put in the work, and yeah, I think that the next 5 years is really when I need to stay focused and give it 100%.
Right, well, just head on to the green. If we can just find your putt.
Interesting putt. We're in like a little bit of a saddle, I'd call that. You know, I've got a high on both sides of my putt, so I've got to try and figure out if I'm on the right side or the left side of that little saddle. But I think this is a little bit of a left to righter. You know, my second shot bounced just left of the flag and worked towards the pin, so I think I've still got a touch of right to left on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
It happens.
I just gave the hole away. I didn't want to give the hole away. I thought inside right edge, but obviously hit it just outside right edge.
Thank you very much, Justin. A pleasure to chatting to you.
Too.
There it is, Justin Rose. It's been a brilliant season for him, and it looks like everything is in place for an even better 2016.